everyone. This is Karen for Online Healing Community. Welcome to Creating Space. And today we're going to talk about being out of control. And joining us from Mexico is Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator and Leader for a Different Future, Enzo Lima. Hi, Enzo.
Yay! Hi, Karen. Hey, guys.
I know it's morning there. What time is it in Mexico?
So now it's 6 a.m. precisely.
Wow, thank you so much for waking up
Thank
early
you.
for this.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm just so glad for being here. And when Karen invited me and she said like the public is like worldwide, but mostly like Philippines based, I was like, this is so cool. Because I've never been to Manila or Philippines yet, but like it was just so exciting and I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you so much, Karen, for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. We're so honored that you're here. And please come to Manila anytime soon. Yeah,
Cool. Thank you.
we'd love to have you. But first, let's ground the discussion. You're an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. Can you tell us more about this modality?
Sure. So access consciousness is like a live transformational set of tools and processes that was created by Gary Douglas more than 30 years ago. And it's just this set of processes and tools, very easy things to apply that you can use to like have ease with anything in your life, in your like daily basis. So we have things for the body, we have things that include your awareness so that you can have more of you, more of the life that you truly would like to have. So like access is not very describable in words. I'd say it's more like experienceable. I know that Karen has had like a background with access, so I don't know, like, and she has already interviewed a lot of CFs here, so you guys might have some background of how it works. But it's mostly like things that are available for you to create anything that you desire. And for me, that's one of the things that's so beautiful about access. It's that possibility of creating what we always knew was possible, but seemed impossible until those tools were available. So
I
yeah.
have to ask you this. How has Access transformed your life?
Oh man, like totally. Like from one place to another totally different place. And it's like a day-to-day exploration of possibility, truly. So for an example, I was just talking to Karen just before we jumped on here with you guys. So I went from like being a Brazil-based like 20-year-old medical student to like moving to Mexico and creating my life in a totally new way, and creating my financial reality in a totally new way, using those tools like 24/7, facilitating them and creating with them. So it truly went from like one place to like another totally different universe dimension, way of being. So yeah, it transformed my reality in like 180 degrees, and every day is the same thing, like every day is totally different actually. So
I
yeah.
resonate with that. Like now, every day is an adventure for me since I've known Access. But you're also a leader for a different future. Can you tell us more about this?
Yeah. So Access Consciousness invited me and the tools invited me to see one thing that I've always known that I was, but I never had the words to describe it, which is like being a leader for a different future, which is like being a leader according to Gary Douglas, the creator of Access, and it's a description that resonates a lot with me. It's like being willing to go where you know you'd like to go and where you know it's possible, whether anyone goes with you or not. So I've always had this sense of like, I know where I need to be, I know when I need to be, I know what I need to create, and I know I can go there. I know I allow myself to go there, whether anyone goes with me or not. So when I heard Gary talking about that, I was like, wow, this is what I always knew was possible. And now I have words to describe it. So for me, that's that. Like, I see a future and I perceive a future in which we can create with the earth in communion and with each other and contribute and have each other's backs in a totally different way. So and I'm discovering more of that each day, more and more, like I said, like I was talking with Karen before we jumped on here too. um Consciousness and the universe never has enough. Like we never have a reach point. We can always reach for more because we're infinite, and that's the cool part of like being here, being in our bodies, being on the earth, and being infinite beings, is that there's always more to reach out for. So yeah. So what future can we all create together? That's what I'm most interested in. Like, why did we choose to be here in those bodies in this moment of the planet, which sometimes can seem like very crazy? Like, why did we choose to be here right now? And for me, the sense is like the planet has never had as much change as we're having right now. And each day we're like exponentializing the level of change that's possible here. So, and I would love to ask like you, Karen, and everyone that's watching us now and into the future, like, what change are you experiencing in your life and in the world that you've maybe not acknowledged yet? And one of the things about acknowledgement is that it allows you to have more of whatever you acknowledge. So if you're having change, if you're having whatever show up in your life, if you acknowledge it, you can change it and you can have more of it, whatever it is. So, yay. Did I answer
Yay!
your question? I
You,
just,
you did, and you answered all of our questions actually. But one thing I really want to ask you is I first saw you in an FB Live when things were way out of control, and you're not the host, but the host was bumped out of the show, and you turned out to be the host, and a lot of things are not happening right. But you were not nervous, not
Mhm.
anxious at all. You were even dancing amidst all the chaos. I was thinking, oh my gosh, how did he do that? How can he be so happy in spite of the chaos?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the question. And one thing is that, like, I'm learning more and more to thrive with chaos and not like make it a problem or not exclude or resist the chaos. Because one of the things we learn is that chaos is bad and that chaos is destructive. But actually, chaos is one of the most generative elements in the universe. So the chaos is like this moving force of consciousness, this moving element and elemental of consciousness. And chaos is what allows like the flowers to blossom, is what allows us to truly create our lives from this totally different place. So whenever we have things show up as if by magic in totally like bizarre weird ways, it's because in those places we're willing to play with chaos. So in that Facebook live that Karen is referring to, and I believe we're gonna leave a link for that in the show
Yes,
notes.
we will. We will. We
um,
will.
it was so fun because like it was a Facebook Live I did with Junaline, which is another friend CF of mine, of ours. It was so funny because we were talking about being out of control. Like the program of Junaline was about being out of control,
Okay.
and in that live, like she was kicked out of the live, and I basically like took over while she was trying to reconnect, and it was so much fun because like I think it was one of the first times I could work with being out of control in that totally new and different way.
Yeah, what I love
So
about that was you really couldn't hear Junalyn at all, but you can
mm,
hear, I can hear Junalyn from your phone, and you were saying the voice from beyond is here. It's like, oh my gosh, it's you made it really, really way too much fun for everyone, even if things were out of control. So yeah.
thank you so much. Yeah, and like one of the things that that life taught me and that consciousness taught me and is teaching me day by day is like working with what is available. Because most of the times and a lot of the times we go like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have blah blah blah. And what if instead of that we could change our perspective and way of functioning to like, okay, so like what is available? Like what is actually available? Because if you function from what is available, you don't get frustrated. You actually allow the universe to show you like what is there willing to contribute. And one of the things, like one of the main tools that we have in Access Consciousness is asking a question. So when you ask like universe consciousness, like what is actually available? Like what or who would like to contribute to me now in this place, in this Facebook Live? Or like if you have an job interview or whatever, you could ask like, hey universe, like who or what can contribute to me here? And the universe is abundant and the universe is magnificent, so it's always going to show up in a very different way of what you think it's going to show up. That's also one of the things we say in Access, like it never shows up the way you think it will. And like if you have that awareness, like you always get, like I always get surprised with like how cool the universe is, and like in how many different ways the universe can show up for us, and how many different ways can we show up as the universe and as consciousness when we're willing to be that. You're on mute, Karen. I cannot hear you.
Is that what being out of control mean? Does it mean allowing the universe to show up how it wants to show up?
Wow, yeah, I would say yes. Because like the universe is this like very intelligent web of possibility and of question and of choices and possibilities and contribution. And so when you allow it and when you allow yourself to show up as what you truly are in the universe, as what it truly is, then that is the space where the magic is possible and where the possibilities can truly show up as they are. And you touched in one of like the key elements of possibility and of choice and of consciousness, which is allowance. Like when you allow everything to show up as it is, magic truly becomes possible. Miracles really become possible. Because
Yeah, I just have a question with magic and miracles because I
yes.
completely agree with you. I experienced that like a lot of magic and miracles are happening. But sometimes
Mhm.
it's like, oh my gosh, there's too much magic and miracles. How? And I was like, what is that? And sometimes I'm like freaking out because
Mhm.
there's too much universe. I opened up to receiving, but this is way too much. So how do you handle that when it really
Yeah.
just floods?
Yeah. One question that I always ask when I find myself in that place is like, would an infinite being really have too like would too much really be a reality for an infinite being, or would an infinite being always reach out for more? You know, and that question really changes your scope of perspective, because like if you like we are infinite beings, and what the fuck does that mean? I don't know if I can cuss in your like
Yes,
program,
you may.
but
Yes, that's fine.
okay, thank you. So like what the fuck is an infinite being? Because we hear a lot from it, but access consciousness was the first place that I truly got the description of what it is. Being an infinite
Right.
being is like, and so let's play with something now, Karen and everyone. So close your eyes for a moment, and if you don't want to close your eyes, that's fine. But perceiving infinite being, it's totally easy when you just get present with your body. So just sense your body, just sense your bum bum in the seat, your back in the chair or in the sofa, or if you're laying down against the bed or the sofa you're laying down on. And put your hands on your tummy or somewhere in your body and perceive at least 3 points in your body. And just say, hello, body. Just invite your body to play and bring presence to those 3 points. And allow your awareness to kind of melt any block, any resistance, any tension, and just allow you and your body to become one. And with that, perceive where your awareness is, where you, the being, are. Not your body, but the being. Perceive the edges of your being. whether it is inside the room you're in, whether it is like many, many miles distant from the edges of your body. And just allow yourself to be present with that and perceive that anywhere that you search for you, there you are, because you're an infinite being. And just ask for the edges of you to expand more and more. So if you're in the room that your body is in, expand out towards the house or the apartment that you're in, towards the land in which your apartment or house is located, towards the neighborhood that you're in, towards the city that you're in, the state. And if you're faster than my voice, please go ahead and just explode. And go ahead and expand more towards the state and the country that you're in, province. Expand out more to the continent that you're located. Expand more. Expand more until you encompass all of the planet. And look the planet in like third person. Look the planet from different perspective than you might ever have seen it before. Just say hi and expand more. Encompass more and more planets. Encompass the whole of the solar system without losing track of your body, simultaneously perceiving your body and the solar system, and expand more until you reach the galaxy, until you encompass all of the Milky Way. And as we talk here in this live, in this program, keep expanding. And throughout your life, ask to keep expanding, ask for more space. Because what we truly are as beings is energy, space, and consciousness. And come back to your body without losing that space. And feel free to open your eyes whenever you're ready. And when we are in that space, things truly change in perspective. Like from this space, truly, is there any problem?
None. I was thinking I'm bigger than the universe. When
Ah,
you're expanding us out and out and out, even yeah, it was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. We're infinite. We like, and I would ask that to you, Karen, or Karen, like, what do you know about being bigger than the universe? What do you know about encompassing the universe? Because truly, sometimes we feel like we're out of breath or like, oh my God, there's just so much happening. Ah! And we
Yeah,
have
true,
we
true.
have that we have that overwhelmed sense that you mentioned. So when we have that overwhelmed sense, sorry, words. When you have that overwhelmed sense, one of the tools that I would truly recommend is doing this expanding out exercise that we just did. So if you
Right.
guys want, just come back to this live and replay it. And there's always more that you get from the energies that we're talking about. So if you expand out, truly, things come to place in the sense of like the size of things really come to perspective. And you see that most of the problems you've been creating or the tensions you've been creating, they're just like not relevant. And from that
Right.
space, you can truly see what's really relevant. You can really have a
Yeah.
sense of your being and of possibility and of the choices you have. So there's
And that
that.
exercise just answered all my questions right now. Seriously, because wow, because I was thinking, what do you mean by out of control, out of linearity, out of form, structure, and significance, out of judgments and limitations? That's what you're talking about in that FB Live. And you
Yeah.
did that exercise. I was like, so does that mean that being out of control means being just space? and
Yeah,
infinite space.
yeah, yeah, totally. Because like control is such a limiting way of existing and being in life. Because when you're controlling, you use like the majority of your energy to like trying to predict the outcome of things instead of allowing the universe to show you how things can show up, which is where the magic and the miracle lives, you know?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, if you have like targets in life, what if you just ask the universe, like, hey universe, like what are the infinite possibilities in which this can show up? And just allow the universe to show you that. Because infinite possibility is this beautiful place of functioning where you allow the elements and the elementals of the universe to show you how things can show up. And it goes way, way, way beyond the capacity of our mind to comprehend or understand or make sense of. So yeah, being, perceiving, knowing, and receiving are those like four milestones of consciousness. So
Mm,
those are our elements as an infinite being. So when you're being, you can actually receive. When you're being, you can perceive. When you're being, you can know, and vice versa. So
mm,
if you're present, being the space, the energy, and the consciousness that you are, you can actually receive infinite possibility. You can receive
mm.
infinite choice. And so, like, what we're talking here might sound woo woo or like airy fairy, but like, consciousness is this experience. Like, we can stay here talking 24 hours, and
Yes.
if you don't choose for yourself to experience that, it's just going to be words. And also, tap into the energy that we're talking about here. Because consciousness is everywhere, consciousness is everything. All the molecules in the universe are conscious, so you can always request for the molecules of the thing you're asking for to assist you. So for an example, if you want to become like a certified facilitator, or if you want to become anything in life, or if you desire a new house or a new car, you could ask like molecules of this car, like help me, assist me. Consciousness, universe, help me, you know? You always when you're asking for something, you always want to demand of yourself and ask of the universe,
Yeah.
which means like you demand of yourself, no matter what, I'm gonna have that. And that is the first step, because you and the universe are oneness. You're not separate. You're not separate from the universe and from consciousness, you know? We just
Mm.
have this like illusions and judgments that make separation real, but it's not. Judgment and separation are actually like an artificial reality. They're like created, they're
Mhm.
not per se a reality. So for an example, when you go to like a forest or nature, when you go to nature, it's very clear to perceive that nature functions as this like very intricate organism, you know, like the
Yes.
tree receives the sun and receives the water from the roots and produces fruits and gives food to the animals and gives shelter to bugs. So all of this simultaneity of gifting and receiving, it's present all throughout nature and all throughout the universe, you know? Humans and like us people are a few of the the parts of the universe that try to function from something different than oneness. And what access consciousness and what the tools invite us to is to like claim on and acknowledge that same oneness. And
Wow. And you're
yeah,
in that space. You're in that space of oneness right now.
yeah, thank you. And yes, I don't know if you guys can like, so tap into the energy that we are being right now with all of this. Like right now it's almost difficult to find words because the energy is just like here, like the universe and consciousness is just like here it goes. So just step into that and just like, what if this that we're being together right now is the way of functioning that we've always known it's possible? And what if this is just like the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg? Like, what if there's much, much, much more available that we've not yet explored? You know, because I
Even
don't know.
Mrs. Dog, I don't know if you can hear him, is agreeing with you.
Yeah, totally. And like that's the fun thing. When we're being ourselves, animals have the chance of being more of them, and plants have the chance of being more of them. I have this lily with me. I just love her. I love plants
Oh, it's
too.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was just like, put me in a place where you can show me in life. So here she is.
And, it, and she's really there.
Yeah, she's just like, hello. And
I'm
that,
here.
yeah, she's like kind of bashfully like, I'm showing up. So like,
Yeah.
what if we can learn from nature about showing up, which is a totally vital component of being out of control, you know? So like, if you want to show up in life, I think the first step is acknowledging like what you are, like what is your nature and what you truly are as a being. Because like up until now, no one had asked me like, what are you? Like, who are you truly? And this is not something fixed. This is not a destination to. This is not a definition. It's like a
Yes.
never changing sense of energy, space, and consciousness.
Just
But like you can never show up truly as what you are if you judge yourself or if you hide yourself. You know, the only thing that you cannot be or change or institute is what you hide. So what if we didn't need hiding anymore? That's one of my
yeah.
invitations for us today.
Yes. What if we don't need hiding anymore? But just to ground this discussion, Enzo, when was that time when you felt you're infinite or when you're fully supported by the universe? If you can share with us a story or an anecdote that when you sense that.
I think the first time I fully bathed into that, and it, like I said, it has been like a constant growing sense of like being supported and being cared for. But I think the first time was like one time where I was in Brazil in my mom's house, and like she has this big pool and this big garden there, and it was just after like a big access consciousness class with Dr. Deng here. And for the first time there, I just sat and I put my feet in the water and I just like put my hands in the grass, and there was this beautiful sense of just like, I'm here, like we're here. The grass was there, the water was there, everything was just like there. And for the first time, I could sense and receive the caring of the universe in a totally new way, you know? It was just after a class with Dan here that's called Energetic Synthesis of Being, which is about exploring exactly what we're talking about here, like your true nature as a being. So I think it was the first time where I allowed myself to receive like a little bit of my beauty and the beauty of the universe, which is one thing, like it's not separate.
Mm.
So in that moment, allowed myself to bathe into like the sense of support and caring that the universe has for us. And there are not a lot of words to describe that, but feel free to tap into the space. I'm trying to convey that to you guys in the best of my ability.
I
But
can see it, Enzo.
cool,
I
cool.
I can see that experience and how my word for it is how freeing it was for you and how expansive it was
Yeah, and like,
for you.
yeah, it was so fleeting and like so non-relevant and so non-significant, but it's at the same time so beautiful. And that's our nature as beings, you know, like it's that non-solid, non-real sense of possibility. You know, what if that's what we are as beings?
And I'm actually expecting like a different story from you, but it was a very, very simple experience, but
Yeah,
it has
totally.
so much meaning.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, what if in each 10 seconds of our lives we can have that sense of support and of receiving from the universe, you know? What gives that to me, and I'm gonna give you guys a bit of home play for today. One of the things that give me a sense of being truly is water. So either like going for a swim in the ocean or going for a swim in the pool or taking a shower or whatever. Like find whatever resonates with you as a being and like start a list with what gives you that sense of being. So what if today you could like write down 10 things that give you a sense of you? So whether it's like singing, dancing, swimming, moving your body, writing, you name it. So yeah, write down 10 things that give you a sense of you. And whenever you're feeling shitty or like, oh my god, life is bad and I need to die and get out of here, what if you could go back to that list and just like do one of those things? And what if you could every day do at least one of those things? you know One of the tools we have in access is like, um, pick 1 hour a day and 1 day a week to fully indulge in you, in whatever makes you happy. So what if you could in that 1 hour a day indulge in one of those things? And what if 1 day a week you could indulge in doing that, whatever makes you happy and whatever gives you you? Because consciousness is about that, is about having more of you, not the limited sense of you, but like the expanded sense of you, which includes the universe and which includes everyone and everything. So one of the things that I found so beautiful about Access is the Access consciousness description of consciousness, which is the place where everything is included and nothing and no one is judged. And is in that place of consciousness of inclusion that you can have infinite possibility. Because if you exclude anyone or anything, especially you cannot have infinite possibility. Because, like, if you don't include you, you cannot truly include others, whether it's in a
Right,
relationship or in a business or whatever. You know, if you don't
right.
include what's real and true for you as a being, you cannot include anything else.
Yeah. Why do we exclude ourselves, Enzo?
Oh, that's a very good question, my friend. And we have all sorts of bizarre reasons and justifications. Like, I would say mostly because we've been taught that, we've most of us grown up in very fucked up families, and now we have a different choice. So what if you could ask that? Like, there's this question that I love to ask myself to like really give me a different scope of possibility and perspective, which is like, if I grew up in a totally conscious world, what would I choose here? Are you on mute? I see your
Yeah,
hand.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Cool. So, like, if I grew up in if I was raised in a totally conscious world, what would I choose here? Because that takes us out of the role of victim that we sometimes love to play, and it puts us in the place of being an infinite being and realizing that consciousness allow you to choose whatever you want to choose in each 10 seconds. So what if your childhood and your stories didn't matter? Like if you just came into this body and this planet right now, in this second, what would you choose? What would you create? What truly makes your heart sing and your body sing and your being sing? you know like that's what if that's what we're here for. Recently Dane here said something that I'm gonna paraphrase, not exactly, but it was something on terms of like, what if the only purpose of you being here on this planet in this lifetime is your personal joy and pleasure? So, what if you guys that are watching us now and into the future allow yourselves to unabashedly bathe into the pleasure of your being and in the pleasure of life? And and I can hear your heads going like, oh, but like I have this problem and I have this financial problem and I'm sick and my mom is dying. Like, what if none of that really matters? And like, I hear you. Like we make those problems so real and true. But like what if you just ask yourself like what if like one question that you can use for all of that is like is this truly relevant? Yes or no? And you can go with what's light. What's light is always what's true for you as a being. So you can go with what's light and what's truly like if you get a big yes, like yes, it's a no. Because like what's really real and true for you as a being has that sense of a whisper, like a feather touch in your face. That's what's really real and true for you. Like where when you're in I love this new background. Hello. When you're in nature,
What's
you have
happening?
yes.
There
When
you
you're
go.
yes, where when you're in nature, you have this different sense of like being and including and receiving. So what if we could live our lives from that, you know? So what if you could for one moment expand out like the exercise that we did when you're like in the crazy problem mind? What if you could just expand out and ask yourself, if I could have the pleasure and the joy of living, what would I truly like to choose now? Like, would I choose this that I'm choosing now, the problem reality, or would I choose a possibility reality beyond this reality? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. And I feel that you really answered all of the questions in everybody's head. Really,
Cool.
really.
Cool.
And what I love with this conversation is it's not just a conversation. You stepped us you gave us an experience of what
Oh.
access consciousness is. You gave us an experience of what infinite being is. And when you're talking about that time when you were supported by the universe,
Mm-hmm.
I see that. I
Mm-hmm.
sense that. And there's so much that you're giving us, like in the space right now that you're listening. Like I'm not sure if you know that, but you have the capacity to bring us where you want to bring us.
Oh,
Like,
thank you. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
totally. I'll have that. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for
And
going in the adventure.
yeah,
Truly.
it was this is an adventure. Really,
Yeah,
really.
truly. And like one of the things that I would love to invite you guys is like, what if this that we're having now together and this that we're bathing into now, this space, this energy, what if you could have that and more into each second of your life? Like I'm here as an invitation for you guys. I'm here as like a catalyst. But if you're here now watching us, you know that that's possible in your own world. And what if you are the source for that in your own world? You know, like we're here as catalysts for you and as invitations. And where and what can you achieve by yourself that none of us can? What possibilities are available to you that aren't available to me or to Karen or to anyone? Like, what do you know that no one else knows? That's what
Correct.
I'm really interested in too. Like, what can you bring into the world that no one else can? Like, what can you be? Because this is the thing. It's more about what you be than what you bring into the world. Because both are the same thing. But like, when you be, you create. Like, when you be, you create greatness into the world. So like, what can you be that only you can be? I guess that's my invitation for you. Like, what is the beautiful energy that you are, that you've so well hidden deep down into the dark corners of you, that you maybe can now start tapping into and start exposing it to the world? Because I don't know about you, my friends, but I know that now is the space for us to be together. So, what are you? Who are you? That you've never showed anyone, and that when you showed, it was scoffed at or it was judged. What if now you can know that the universe and that consciousness and that there are beings here in this planet in bodies and without bodies that wish to support you and cherish you and nurture this substance of your being that you've hidden so well. What if you could tap into that and let that unravel and let that unleash upon the world? You might as well discover that it's much, much more beautiful and peaceful and joyful and ease filled than what anyone has ever been able to perceive.
Thank you so much for that, Enzo. And how can people get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you?
So people can reach out to me through my Instagram and my Facebook. I have a website that's on the books too, and the link for that it's gonna be in the show notes once it's ready. And yeah, we're gonna let you guys know. You can also contact me through WhatsApp. I'm gonna leave. I didn't give Karen the link yet, but I'm gonna leave in the show notes a link. If you want to talk to me through WhatsApp, I would love to talk to you. And one of the things that I love the most in life is to talk to people on the phone. Like we've so made it wrong and like dismissed talking with people, like actually engaging. But it's one of the things that I love the most. So if you want to have a talk with me, I'm available. And yeah, I'm available for private sessions too. And we have some programs coming up with like bodies, and it's all in the creation phase, but you guys will know through Instagram and Facebook and my website when that's ready, what's coming up, what's cooking. And let's have too much fun together. Surely.
Yay. Yes, let's have way too much fun together. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Enzo, for bringing us into this infinite space and this space of oneness, and space and this space of out of control.
Thank you, my friend.
It's really so beautiful. Thank you. I'm out of questions, really, because he just answered all of my questions. And do you have any parting words for everyone?
Thank you. Whoever you are, whatever you are, I'm grateful for you. Yeah, all of the parts and pieces that you've always judged and that were always judged by others. I see you, and it's beautiful, and I'm grateful. And you don't have to hide it anymore. There's a different possibility here, and you're beautiful. Whether you see it or not now, you're beautiful. And thank you for you.
Thank you for you, Enzo. This is such a beautiful, beautiful conversation, and it's something
So
that I really just repeat over, rewind, and replay over and over again. Thank you for that beautiful experience.
you're so welcome. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone who's watching us now and into the future. And what if like Dan here says, what if you being you is the change and the possibility that this earth has been asking for?
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, and with that, thank you so much. Bye for now, everyone. And thank you again, Enzo. Hope
Thank
to see you
you.
soon. Bye
Yes.
bye for now.